Would you truly be happy if you begged someone to stay in your life? Being happy actually helps you acquire the respect and love you need. Asking someone to stay in your home life is not only ineffective, but it's also additionally harmful. Remember that you should never put other people's wants ahead of your own, and let them make their own choices and show them how much you care and love them. In this video, we'll examine the importance of respect and not expecting others to love and respect you. 10 simple techniques for giving and receiving love without the need for. Despite being centuries old, the fundamental principles of Stoic philosophy remain powerful and crucial in the modern world, which encourages us to never ask for affection. We'll discover how to maintain someone's affection or respect, believe in yourself, understand your value, and know how to allow love to enter. I genuinely encourage you to travel with me so that you can experience love without boundaries. Before we start, you don't need anything. I want to make it simple and significant for you, so please watch the complete video to make sure you don't miss any of the 10 lessons It includes important lessons that can be applied to a variety of situations and alter your way of life. And observe your life in Lesson 7 will alter your perspective on love and self-worth so that you don't. Don't forget to include the 4 phrases, "I know my self-worth," in your letter. Your emotions with us, and join a community of individuals that are studying the Stoic theory, ought to better themselves. Thank you for watching, and let's embark on this adventure together. Above all, respect yourself. Respecting oneself is the cornerstone of everything you do in partnerships. Decide whether to uphold personal ideals or to understand and apply. Using a Stoic mindset to confidently and intelligently tackle relationship issues maintains your trust and keeps you from slipping into the trap of looking for love from others. The giving and receiving of love must be balanced in a relationship, according to Stoic theory. Emphasizes how crucial it is to maintain justice when you love and care for. You respect yourself, and you also expect and uphold the respect of the other individual to establish a tranquil and long-lasting partnership. While comprehending the in a partnership, respect and self-worth are vital and significant. When you're in a difficult circumstance and don't receive enough respect, it's not only undermines self-worth, but also prevents spiritual and personal development. A friendship that lasts must be founded on having the courage to leave these kinds of circumstances in order to protect oneself. Relationships and profound emotions are essential for a happy and healthy existence. Seek companions that can help you overcome difficult situations by teaching you patience and wisdom if you want a relationship. Join forces and get stronger. Don't ask for affection. Let things happen. Unfold naturally, and everything will come to you naturally. Number 2. Love is not always what it seems. Have you ever been captivated by a story about 2 strangers falling in love? When people first meet, they seem to have known each other for a long time. Have you ever experienced this? Love at first sight is a fanciful notion in stories and movies, like catching lightning when you meet the right person. Many people desire it and believe it to be an indication of true love, despite the fact that Stoic philosophy and life demonstrate otherwise. There are tales about the deceptive promise of love at first sight that illustrate this point of view. They frequently depict a lovely couple who click from the start, and at first glance it could appear that way, but in practice things are really different. True love actually takes time to mutual understanding, blossoming, and mutual commitments might hit you. Infant attraction is a transient feeling of physical desire, similar to lightning. When someone is in love, they frequently feel satisfied, envious, and, although it's great, possessiveness isn't a good foundation in the long run. Long-lasting love in a relationship is like taking care of a plant every day. Of it, You must be understanding, patient, and dedicated to both sides in order for them to develop and thrive stoically. Philosophy advocates against hurrying or pressuring the process and emphasizes patience. Instead, have faith in it and allow love to develop at its own speed. True love originates from self-love. When you love and care for yourself completely, you can give and receive love from others. Of life, the relationships we form, only genuine love, determine how happy we are. May make us happy. Love and happiness are essential components of a fulfilling existence. Recall that first love is really a romantic ideal. Here's how to create a relationship last. The capacity to comprehend commitment and cultivate love is essential to a good partnership. Impulsively, as the Stoics advise, share, love, and wait for love. To develop at its own speed, and you'll discover genuine love. So please don't hesitate to share your "Let's discuss genuine feelings of happiness and love at first sight" in the comments area below. The third step in finding love and sustaining relationships is to learn from embracing rejection as we search for the love and pleasure we occasionally possess. Rejection can be extremely painful when dealing with low self-worth, but keeping a stoic attitude is, in my opinion, both an opportunity to learn and a means of believing in our own value without looking for affection. But when we let things happen organically, we grow to appreciate. We should embrace who we are and not rely on what other people may think. Consider Maria, a young lady who spent years trying to please her boyfriend. He constantly hoped that despite his best efforts to be happy and love her more, this relationship ended because Maria was worn out, slowly losing her joy, having low self-esteem, and lives in continual fear and anxiety over falling short of her boyfriend's expectations. Desired to abandon her one day following a traumatic split when she attempted to do her best for her lover. But when it didn't work out, she felt ignored. So Maria decided to consider her value before God. She understood that true love doesn't need to be asked for or coerced. Because honesty and respect for one another, Maria began to dedicate time to improving herself she found inner serenity and contentment by engaging in activities she valued and learning to value, and she stopped depending on outside. Maria's tale demonstrates several reasons why it's critical to welcome others. Rejection can act as a trigger to unveil a novel method of education. Rejection is not an indication of failure. Rather, we ought to place a higher value on ourselves. However, we have the chance to find happiness and freedom within ourselves, which is how we learn to love and show one another respect. God wants everyone to be content and healthy, so we can accomplish this by realizing that finding true love involves more than just letting go of the past, hurts, and self-worth. But we develop a resilient, self-sufficient spirit that does not become agitated when others reject or criticize them. Number 4, refrain from idealizing. Have you ever wondered why love might occasionally hurt us, and how can selecting a life partner requires intelligence and consideration, as the Stoic philosophy teaches us? Avoiding idealization is essential for a good relationship because love cannot be imposed. Relationship idealization of tranquil, long-lasting partnerships frequently occurs. From having irrational expectations that distort our perceptions of our spouses and impractically, and when those expectations aren't fulfilled, it might cause suffering and disappointment. Therefore, we should concentrate on understanding and embracing the truth. We want to know our partner's identity, abilities, and their shortcomings. What if you believed that your partner was flawless? Focusing intently and avoiding errors when the truth doesn't correspond. When disappointments rather than hopes arise, we should acknowledge this as our. Additionally, a partner is a fallible person who is prone to making mistakes, and according to the Bible, Being at peace with them will contribute to the development of a more practical and enduring connection. Whether we are proud or jealous, these teachings tell us that love is peaceful and kind. How crucial it is to acknowledge that in a partnership, we should be fair and forgiving to our mate, rather than viewing true love through the prism of idealization. I appreciate their positive traits, while simultaneously appreciating and comprehending their negative traits. Other person, creating a strong, long-lasting bond that benefits both people, will continue to comprehend and abide by these guidelines as they mature and improve, which will aid in our development. Relationships built on mutual respect, trust and understanding, when we quit attempting to make our partners flawless and embrace them for who they are. And as we develop, you'll discover that love comes more easily, and remember that love is a natural emotion that cannot be forced. Path growth and comprehension for both parties, and on that trip we discover. When I speak of genuine happiness and tranquility, please refrain from idealizing. Valuable if it has taught you something new or given you experience with the concept of exchange in Stoicism. Mutual support means that we should reciprocate by being just and giving. Because of the affection we receive, actions show how we are related to one another and part of a greater whole. Community and our actions need to promote the collective prosperity of that group. Notion pertains to both people and communities, and in terms of sexual relationships, I value and recognize that the relationships we have with our partners form the ties we need to achieve our common objectives. This is a dance of giving and receiving, with flawless moves at every stage, establishing a rhythm of acknowledgement and respect for one another in the realm of love. One effective strategy for encouraging people to refrain from making demands is reciprocity. It is crucial for souls to comprehend that genuine love and respect should be reciprocated and preserve their value. Consider the tale of Linda and David. Linda always believed that she had. She continuously makes David happy in order to earn his love. And putting aside her personal happiness in spite of Linda's best attempts, Linda's wants and feelings were uncertain, and she felt exhausted and unworthy. Discovered the exchange teachings that stress naturalness and self-respect as a result of her partnerships. Over time, she made the decision to prioritize and care for herself. Linda's health and her relationship with David has shifted as a result of her altered sense of self-worth. She ceased begging for his love, and instead they did things that helped expressing gratitude to one another for his efforts, while retaining her, showed respect for one another, which strengthened their bond in a sincere relationship. This shift is consistent with what the Bible says. Frequently assert that peace can be found by putting our faith in God's love and wisdom, and that love is an unmerited gift from God. Letting go permits love to flow freely and without restriction, adhering to the exchange principle. Shows us that love eventually overcomes despair, and that there should be a regular interchange of, by abiding by the rule of respect for one another, we not only build our relationships better, yet they also uphold the idea of unfailing love, which God knows. How precious you are, be sincere, and let love to flow through you. Of course, we value your patience and the art of love that doesn't require any action from you. As you follow this journey through the entire film, we hope that the knowledge and the sharing above have given you a plethora of fresh concepts and principles to live by. Please like and share this video if it clarifies partnerships for you. Now, a lot more individuals can benefit from this wonderful Stoic philosophy. We will now explore the next important subject, which is Stoic thought. Can assist us in making wise choices and developing a relationship. Be sure to stick with it to prevent missing the next helpful data. The sixth option of life data was created in a durable and a successful relationship necessitates a combination of both life partner selection techniques. Based on logic and intuition, it's critical that we understand their basic values and views in order to find a compatible life partner. Will be prepared to accompany us through life's challenges and difficulties, in addition to being there for us while we're pleased. Let's examine the tale of Silas and Gina. Silas first encountered Gina during a church service. Rather of being immediately captivated by her beauty, Gina became Silas's long-term interest, and he decided to spend. He took the time to get to know her and genuinely tried to comprehend her core convictions and innermost thoughts through discussions and collaborative charitable endeavors. Silas discovered these qualities, which claimed that Silas possessed traits like Gina's kindness, patience, and faith in God, always cherished and anticipated. Yet at one point throughout his life, Silas didn't. He never rushed his decision-making process, constantly keeping in mind the Stoics' belief that happiness doesn't come from external sources, such as inner harmony and tranquility. While Silas and Gina were getting to know one another, they reflected on the many issues they resolved together whenever they emerged, and when times became tough, they turned to their love and their faith. They navigated it by using God and the ideas of Stoic philosophy. This improved their relationship, and Stoics clearly show that picking a life mate is the best decision. God taught us that true love is the absence of all other things. Others want coercion, but by sharing and giving freely, and with the generosity of Silas without being forced, he and Gina fell in love and became friends based on mutual respect, gratitude, trust, and faith in each other. You ought to select a life mate according to God's will, and the principles of Stoic philosophy reminds us to allow love to blossom without begging for. Clever, open-hearted people believe that unity is more important than pursuing or acquiring love. We shall talk about the sixth of two kindred spirits that are developing and evolving together. Developing emotional resilience and embracing our imperfections is essential to, according to Stoic partnerships, love isn't always simple to handle. Traveling and getting married are two completely different experiences, and getting married is never easy. These issues will never go away, but how we respond to and resolve them will decide how successful we are and how long the connection. For instance, supposing a young, recently wed couple encounters. Despite many obstacles, they started their life together by managing their money and starting personal. Instead of allowing arguments to destroy their relationship, Journeys uses the principles of Stoic thinking to develop emotional fortitude. Kids learn to recognize what they can change and work to make things better. They can change, and being patient, grateful, and cooperating greatly gives them strength. Understanding religious beliefs is another way to develop strength. For instance, they may discover that they have mental fortitude. They find serenity and guidance in their belief in God throughout. They can remain composed during trying times by seeking God's protection and understanding the bigger picture of life. The Bible claims that God is reliable and won't disappoint you. The ease of this conviction is greater than your capacity to oppose it, allowing them to handle every circumstance with tolerance and faith, according to numerous research. That resilience is resisted by those who can cope with little stresses and major catastrophes more easily. In addition to being helpful in daily life, Stoicism teaches us how to handle with severe or uncommon issues as well, provided we acknowledge the things we cannot alter, and we can get stronger by working to develop. Having emotional strength benefits our relationships. Relationships develop quickly. Have you ever had issues in a romantic relationship that you were able to work out? If so, could you provide an "You're quite right"? Please leave a comment with your adventures and tales. The eighth tip focuses on preserving your independence in a partnership, and sharing your life with others does not imply that you and your partner must do everything together. The best method to preserve your independence in a relationship is to take care of your personal space. Important Stoic philosophy emphasizes that love shouldn't become a need or a burden. Even in relationships, everyone should be able to live independently. In addition to allowing each partner to maintain their individuality, independence in a partnership also creates a long-lasting friendship and a good connection. God also tells each individual, every person created in God's image, has distinct objectives and requires Jesus, said that love is about giving and getting along with people, rather than about possessing something. For this reason, it's essential to treat those we love with respect. Everyone has their own unique time and location, just as God does with every individual. In a relationship, freedom is not just keeping your spouse, but also allowing them to be independent. Feel free to show respect so that you can both advance and develop as people. Linked without being overly dependent on one another's independence or being overly bound together affords you the opportunity to reflect, develop, and engage in personal interests that, when you're together, make you feel fresh and enthusiastic. Thus, we should let you stay that way. To respect ourselves and our partners, we must refrain from trying to. Instead, she seeks to manage or manipulate the other person to suit your requirements. Establish a space where everyone is respected and feels free so that love can blossom. Without true love is about caring for and supporting one another, not about possessing each other. Respecting each other's privacy and independence. Post a comment about creating your with own independence as your slogan. You can create a long-lasting, healthy friendship that spontaneously blossoms and grows without the need for love. Taking time to cultivate gratitude and express gratitude for what you have is not just an excellent thing to do, and it's something you ought to do consistently when it comes to love. Gratitude shows what brought us together in the first place and begins to assist. We cherish and uphold those lovely ideals, and showing gratitude is more than simply a feeling. It necessitates action. Research shows that couples can remember how they felt by showing gratitude to one another. First, as well as the factors that led them to decide to marry, selfless service and care for one another are the keys to navigating life's obstacles and establishing a strong foundation for sustaining a relationship. We observe that even in households where there are no arguments, things are nevertheless serene and tranquil. However, couples who were once devoted to one another eventually drift apart without recognizing it. After just one day apart, they were desperate to see one another and made every effort to do so, since they couldn't stop missing one another. People frequently arrive home from work late for a variety of reasons, including being busy, watching TV alone late at night, and looking after children who are also exhausted. They want to watch films, browse the internet, and do other enjoyable things. Their social lives, trapping them and consuming all of their planned. When people are exhausted, they often lie down and go to sleep right away. No longer have the same enthusiasm for dating as they did when they were younger, when they fell in love, or even when they were 20. New love cannot endure in the first several years of marriage, based solely on its own sensations of real life demands sacrifices. But love, youth, and beauty will eventually emerge. Thanksgiving will enable us to reflect on the good times we've shared in the past and maintain our relationship. Being grateful is a component of the faith of those who believe in God, which helps us remember that God is the source of love. Please write, "I thank God." Out of love and gratitude, take better care of our connection and cherish whatever I have. Stoic thinking keeps our love alive and strengthens our bond. More resilient, keep in mind that love shouldn't be allowed to blossom on its own, and with thank you, we'll have all we require. The most logical course of action is to intentional actions. Message sending and genuine communication can quickly vanish. In a world full with meetings, alerts, and constant scrolling, Real connections arise from deliberate dialogue that is marked by speaking and listening with clarity and compassion. Requires effort, awareness, and in-depth understanding of both oneself and others to communicate in an intentional, the manner in which this article discusses the concepts and practices of purposeful communication, as well as its advantages and potential to transform our personal and professional lives. Relationships. An understanding of intentional communication. The ability to purposefully share your thoughts, feelings, and ideas in order to establish a connection is known as intentional communication. On the other hand, deliberate communication aims to better comprehend one another, move beyond reactive or informal dialogue, which we place the greatest emphasis on clarity, context, and the underlying emotions of a conversation, with the two primary elements of deliberate listening are purpose and empathetic listening. When you communicate intentionally, you make your ideas clear and make sure your words reflect your ideals. Think about how your message will influence others to listen to you with empathy, to set aside your beliefs, focus entirely, and make an effort to comprehend. Consider a scenario in which a team member feels rather than merely reacting. Unheard during a conflict at work, a deliberate speaker may go up to the issue by first acknowledging the team member's distress and requesting that they thoroughly elucidate their viewpoint before offering their own. Not only reduces stress while also facilitating mutual understanding and collaboration. Effective communication requires both parties to have a thorough grasp of themselves. The foundation of purposeful communication is self-awareness, which we must. Before we can communicate with others in a constructive manner, we must first understand our own feelings, thoughts, and motivations. Being self-aware enables us to identify the triggers for our emotions and prevents us from speaking out of rage or defensiveness. You should first question yourself, why do I feel this way? In order to become more self-aware, what I want this conversation to accomplish is to connect, defend, or these persuasion-related questions might assist you in ensuring that your communication style aligns with the outcomes you seek. For instance, self-awareness can help you remain composed during a heated family dispute when someone disagrees with you. Rather, it allows you time to reflect, evaluate, and respond to your emotions. Care, which can transform contentious discussions into chances to understand one another better. Another important aspect of purposeful discourse is attentive listening. Active listening requires you to relate to the speaker and comprehend their message both emotionally and intellectually, which entails eliminating any interruptions, maintaining eye contact, and demonstrating interest with words and body language. One useful technique to engage in active listening is to paraphrase language. When a friend confides in you about their issues, you may respond, "It sounds like you're feeling too busy right now." When it comes to business, this demonstrates that you are focused and provides to actively listen. You must give the other person an opportunity to elaborate or contribute to what they are saying. You must also cease passing judgment. Rather of learning, we frequently listen with the goal of replying when we engage in discussions with curiosity and an open mind to ensure safety. For people to be truthful and create stronger bonds with one another, intentional communication techniques. It requires effort and consciousness to enhance your purposeful communication abilities. Here are some strategies to improve this practical ability. Set your objectives. Before you begin a conversation, think about your objectives. Are you attempting to resolve a disagreement, express gratitude, or offer assistance, making sure your goals are clear? That your statements align with your objectives and reduce the likelihood of misunderstandings. In these days, there are a lot of things that might divert your focus, so being really present is a gift. Put down your phone, look the individual in the eye, and offer them your whole attention. Being present during the talk demonstrates your appreciation and regard for the other person's "I utilize I" statements rather than "you" to express time and point of view. Statements to express your thoughts without becoming irate or accusatory. Something along the lines of, "I feel ignored when I express my opinions instead of you." Never, people who listen to me are more forthcoming and less inclined to fight than those who don't. People frequently underestimate the value of silence in conversation. By waiting to respond, you give yourself time to reflect and ensure that your words are intentional. This will encourage others to think and talk more thoughtfully. People talk to each other in different ways since it alters your appearance, and there are open people and more quiet individuals who are adaptable and conscious of how others speak, to helps you better understand them and prevents misinterpretations of their roles. Nonverbal communication is not limited to using words alone. Purpose, your tone of voice, your facial expressions, and your body language are all nonverbal clues that convey your message, include a grin, a nod, or an open body. On the other side, language can foster closeness and trust. Arms or a preoccupied gaze can hinder communication. For instance, consider despite your best efforts to be positive, a co-worker who delivers a suggestion at a meeting may slouch or avoid eye contact. Making touch with them can make them appear less sincere, so be careful to speak, and unspoken discussions that are in tune will help your message be understood. Occur when trying to communicate intentionally, and improving your ability to do so isn't necessarily. The predominance of impulsive behavior is one problem that many people face. It's easy to develop habits when you're under a lot of stress. Defensiveness interfering or making snap judgments to disrupt these patterns, be exercised frequently and be gentle when navigating personal and cultural differences, is another task where an apparently obvious term may have distinct meanings in different cultures. People's perceptions of others are influenced by their own experiences and emotions. Say that by being conscious of these elements and, if needed, obtaining more information, we can avoid misunderstandings as an illustration of learning about various cultural values, and adapting your communication style to their needs could be deliberate. This type of work demonstrates communication in a multicultural workplace, respect, and strengthens and expands relationships. The power of deliberate. When done intentionally and consistently, communication may make a difference. In interpersonal interactions, communication has the power to transform relationships and unite individuals in significant ways. Trust reduces conflict and strengthens a relationship between two people. It facilitates collaboration, improves morale, and increases complete productivity at work. Observe a manager who intentionally communicates. By paying attention to employees' problems, they create a positive work environment. Providing candid criticism and expressing gratitude helps team members feel appreciated and understood, in the same way that purposeful communication can enhance the connection between two individuals in a romantic relationship by allowing them to express love and discuss issues and regularly show gratitude. There are activities you can do now to try these exercises to enhance your deliberate communication and incorporate conscious communication into your daily routine. The pause and reflect strategy in your daily life. Always take a moment during conversations to consider how clear your response is before responding. And helpful, your response is empathy maps. Consider the other person's perspective following a conversation. What emotions do you believe they were experiencing? When you speak with them again, how can you confirm their experience? Making a plan for how you will connect is the first step in every day. For example, I'm going to engage in active listening today and avoid talking throughout meetings while acting out roles. With a teacher or friend, Practice planned conversation scenarios and pay attention. To ensure that your unspoken and spoken cues are in harmony, being explicit about intentional interaction requires knowing what you want and paying close attention. Self-awareness over time and the capacity to comprehend how others feel can help us transcend the limitations of superficial conversations and create meaningful and genuine relationships. If we put prioritizing clarity, presence, and comprehension in a world where genuine connections are become more difficult to locate, effective communication is a potent means of bringing. Remember that when individuals get together, they develop trust and a sense of belonging. That every conversation offers an opportunity to be purposeful whenever you speak with someone, whether it's a brief inquiry with a colleague or an in-depth discussion with a loved one. These actions have longer-lasting impacts when done with awareness and purpose. They send forth waves of connection that make our lives better than they are now. Regarding the lives of those around us more effectively, let's make an effort to speak with one another, not just to get attention, but additionally, intentionalation is more than merely establishing a relationship. Expressing your opinions, but it's not only about facts, it's also about showing respect, understanding, and hence, it's critical to promote purposeful communication in love partnerships. Communication is essential for staying in touch and getting to know one another. Stoic philosophy emphasizes the value of a solid foundation for love to blossom organically without coercion. Listening is essential. Hearing with our hearts as well as our ears enables us to comprehend how others feel and what they're considering their thoughts and desires from our spouse. This not only helps prevent miscommunications, but it also demonstrates genuine concern when we listen and express concern. Naturally, Stoic philosophers believe that there is space for love to blossom, and that presumptions and biases shouldn't stop people from speaking freely and honestly. Relationships strengthen mutual faith and trust when we express our opinions, and when we reveal our actual feelings to our spouses, we give them an opportunity to respond kindly. Clarity prevents unnecessary misunderstandings, and maintaining effective communication is essential. Love is not always simple. People will occasionally disagree, so when there is disagreement, be composed and patient rather than reacting hastily. Always attempt to handle issues with composure, reason, patience, and in order to maintain harmony and tranquility in our hearts, we purposefully cultivate understanding when we communicate with one another. Partnership that permits love to develop in a way that endures, according to Stoic theory. In addition to preventing arguments and miscommunications, discussing love creates space for love to blossom freely and truthfully by paying close attention to what is being spoken. You will find love doesn't need pleading if you communicate with each other gently and honestly. Naturally, it will happen. We hope that discussing Stoic thinking has given you a better understanding of love and how to develop a healthy, enduring relationship. Before we split up, we'd please respond to the short question below the video to let us know how you feel about this. What are your thoughts on this video? Are you happy or unhappy? Choose one of the responses above and let us know. C. Neutral. D. Delighted or very pleased. What do you think? Please hit the like button if you find this video useful. Talk about this video below and show your loved ones and friends. This not only lets us know what you're thinking, but it also distributes good vibes. More people and subscribe to make sure you don't miss the next video. To watch videos on alerts for inspiration and the Stoic attitude whenever we publish a new, watch the video to find out more. The Stoic theory will give us useful teachings in the next videos. Thank you, and I'll see you there.